Dana Suskind, 30 million words, building a child's brain. Get ready to dive into the fascinating world of early childhood brain development with the book, 30 Million Words, Building a Child's Brain, by Dana Suskind. This summary will guide you through the critical importance of the first 3 years of life in establishing a child's cognitive abilities, particularly focusing on language acquisition and its effects on overall learning. Discover the significance of the 30 million word gap and learn about the intriguing findings of a 6-year study that challenges preconceived notions about the correlation between socioeconomic status and academic achievement. Explore practical and effective strategies, such as the 3 T's, tune in, talk more, and take turns, to enhance language learning and cognitive development in children.
The impact of early childhood experiences on brain development. From birth, every single experience impacts the way an individual understands the world, especially during the first 3 years of life when the brain's neuronal network forms. Initially unconnected, as neurons become connected, they pave the way for increased brain function, creating between 700 and 1,000 new connections every second. Through synaptic pruning, the network is pared down to the essentials, with less used pathways being removed while more specialized connections are fine-tuned. This developmental process lays the foundation for future intellectual capacity, particularly in language acquisition. As the brain recognizes specific sound patterns, it strengthens neural pathways, making it easier to speak the native tongue and more challenging to learn new languages later in life. This period of brain development demonstrates the incredible power of neuroplasticity and the impact of early childhood experiences on lifelong cognitive abilities. The relationship between language and learning. Language plays a crucial role in shaping a child's learning abilities, from mathematical aptitude to spatial thinking. The lack of a solid grasp of language has a significant impact on children's ability to learn and fully comprehend the information presented to them in the classroom. The consequences of poor language skills can trickle down to crucial subject areas like mathematics, making children miss out on vital cognitive processes that boost their understanding of the subject. Skillful language utilization lays the foundation for successful abstract thinking in mathematics that relies heavily on symbol and word correlation. Eventually, abstract thinking evolves to include geometric and spatial abilities, which are essential predictors of success in STEM subjects. The role of early language environment. A child's ability to learn is determined by their early language environment, regardless of their socioeconomic status or race. A 6-year study reveals that the quantity and variety of words a child is exposed to significantly affects their language development and ultimately, their success in life. Children from families with high socioeconomic status heard 2,000 words on average per hour compared to 600 for their lower status peers, resulting in a 30 million word gap by age 3. However, the study found that the quantity of words spoken was not the only factor that mattered, quality was just as crucial. The greater the variety of words a child is exposed to, the better they'll learn. Thus, poorer families can provide a supportive and nurturing language environment as wealthier ones by talking more and using a diverse set of words. Helping kids build a growth mindset. Parents can help their children develop a growth mindset to face challenges bravely and unlock their full potential. Praising children for working hard instead of being smart helps them adopt a growth mindset and become more confident in handling new tasks. Parents should also provide affirmative feedback and prompt kids to develop social skills and vocabulary to positively influence their intelligence. When parents have an affirmative view of their role in this process, they are more likely to support their children in realizing their full potential. 3 T's for language development. To aid a child's language development and bridge the 30 million word gap, parents should follow the 3 T's, tune in, talk more, and take turns. First, tuning in means joining in with the child's current activity to enhance their learning development and keep them engaged. Second, talk more involves speaking with a cooing pattern of intonation, also known as child-directed speech. It's central to a child's brain development and can double their vocabulary at age 2. By following these strategies, parents can encourage intimate communication and foster seamless learning for their child. Talking to kids for better language learning. Talking to your kids is central to their language learning. It involves narrating activities, using decontextualized language, and expanding on speech. By doing so, we can increase their vocabulary, strengthen links between sounds and objects, and develop their capacity for academic communication. When talking to kids, we must meet them where they are and talk about what they're focused on. Narrating mundane activities like diaper changing or feeding can turn them into opportunities for brain development, increasing their vocabulary and comprehension. We must also introduce decontextualized language, which refers to objects and events unrelated to the current situation. This is crucial for academic success. We can achieve this by talking about memories or telling imaginary stories. Finally, expanding on speech is vital to building vocabulary and generating flowing conversation. Young children begin speaking using incomplete words and sentences, but as parents, we can fill in the gaps and introduce new vocabulary. In short, talking to our kids is an essential tool for their language learning. By narrating activities, introducing decontextualized language, and expanding on speech, we can help our children build their vocabulary, comprehension, and capacity for academic communication. Encouraging conversation with your child. Engage your child in conversation using the taking turns technique, which involves responding to gestures, sounds, and words. Allow your child extra time to think of words, ask open-ended questions, and read and tell stories together. As your child grows, encourage them to share their own ideas and engage in discussion. Engaging in conversation with your child is crucial in their language learning. One effective technique, known as taking turns, involves responding to each other's gestures, sounds, and words to encourage your child to speak. Giving your child a few extra seconds to think of a word also promotes conversation and provides more opportunities for language learning in the future. Another essential strategy is asking open-ended questions that begin with how or why. These types of questions work well because they prompt your child to speak and are difficult to answer with gestures. Reading and telling stories to your child can also be an excellent chance to apply all three Ts. As your child grows, it's important to encourage them to share their own ideas and engage in a discussion about the stories. By paying attention to your child's interests and enthusiasm, you can focus on the things that jump out to them and get them more engaged, building meaning in their minds. In conclusion, using the taking turns technique is a valuable tool for encouraging conversation with your child. By giving them extra time to think of words, asking open-ended questions, and reading and telling stories together, you can promote language learning and engage your child in meaningful discussions. Investing in early childhood education. Investing in early childhood education and nurturing children can improve academic readiness, behavior, and long-term success. Consequently, programs that focus on parents lay the foundations for broader, federally sponsored educational efforts. Ensuring the intellectual development of a child during the early years is crucially important. It is known to have a significant impact on both their academic and future successes. With 32 million children living in low-income families, they are the most at risk of not living up to their potential. James Heckman, Nobel laureate in economics, found that investing in high-quality early childhood education for disadvantaged kids produces a considerable economic gain, 7 to 10%, through improved school achievement, behavior, and adult productivity. Parents can also play a significant role in nurturing their children and shrinking the achievement gap. Parents lay the foundations for broader, federally sponsored educational efforts that can aid academic readiness and long-term success. For example, Columbia University's National Center for Children in Poverty has emphasized the necessity for parenting programs since parents can impact and enhance their children's future immensely. The enthusiasm and confidence that parents develop while nurturing their children can prove contagious and have a ripple effect in recruiting others to follow along. It can significantly enhance their children's future, both academically and socially.
As we reach the end of this captivating journey through early childhood brain development, we've learned how crucial the first 3 years are in molding a child's intellectual abilities and the immense impact of language acquisition on learning. The 30 million word gap reveals that socioeconomic status and race are not the sole determinants of academic success. It is the child's early language environment, regardless of socioeconomic background, that truly shapes their future potential. The 3 T's provide effective tools for parents to engage their children in nurturing communication, fostering growth and development. The key to unlocking the full potential of our children lies in embracing the power of language, promoting a growth mindset, and investing in quality early childhood education. Remember, it's the words we speak to our children that are the building blocks of their future success.